what do we need to do to get it right, and we cannot
proposal di luar dan di dalam parlimen untuk bagaimana nak tangani COVID, and banyak daripadanya tidak dilayan.
Dr. Balachandran Gopal Krishnan, Pegawai Khas Hal Ehwal Bukan Islam, Menteri Besar Terengganu, Ketua Penerangan Dewan Himpunan Pendukung Pusat. Apa khabar, Doktor? Dr. Bala, you okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Alright.
Salam.
Salam. Bersama saya juga Presiden MENGENAI, Yang Mulia Tunku Datuk Ahmad Burhanuddin ataupun lebih dikenali sebagai Presiden TAP. Apa khabar, TAP?
Alhamdulillah. Good.
Alright. Okay, terima kasih kerana sudi meluangkan sedikit masa pada malam ini bersama saya. Nama saya Sahrol, tapi orang panggil saya Boon di sekolah. InsyaAllah saya akan menjadi host untuk sesi bual bicara up close and personal, I think for the next 1 hour. Terima kasih juga kepada penonton yang menonton di luar secara langsung ataupun selepas ini secara rakaman. Anda boleh terus komen atau nak bertanyakan soalan. Saya akan ajukan soalan bila masa yang bersesuaian. Okay, Boon Talk Show merupakan satu kerjasama antara saya, Boon Talk Show, dan juga IFL. IFL ni is IFL MENGENAI Inspiring Future Leaders of Malay College All Boys Association untuk menyumbang dalam bentuk pemikiran masyarakat Malaysia yang lebih matang, lebih empathy, lebih adil, dengan mengadakan diskusi silang ilmiah intelektual antara individu daripada pelbagai fahaman politik, agama ataupun kepercayaan. Sebelum saya mulakan sesi kita pada kali ini, saya ingin menjemput Tuan Presiden TAP untuk memberikan sikit kata aluan. Dipersilakan Tuan Presiden.
Thanks, Boon. Assalamualaikum everybody. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Balachandran, for joining us today. I'm sure we're going to have a very good conversation tonight. Anyway, IFL, Inspiring Future Leaders, is inspiring all leaders, not necessarily in just Malay College or in our own little sphere. We're trying to inspire all the future leaders of Malaysia, regardless of race, religion, age, or whatever, sex, even, So there is a need for us to inspire more leaders to take their seat, their position in the coming election for sure. And I hope that Doctor, we can solve some of the issues that we have. Maybe not tonight, but somewhere along between now and whenever. But we need to solve a lot of the issues that we have in this country, whereas race is actually being used as the race card has been used a lot in terms of politics, in terms of getting support and all that stuff, and it's overlaid by religion, So and a lot of this, and there are a lot of people, because they go out. If you do this, it's sacrilegious. You're going to end up in hell, kind of thing, whatever. And there's a lot of people who are misconstrued by all these things. And so it's always it's good to listen to somebody of your caliber who's been with past more than anything else over a decade. You were saying 15 years to 16 years, many years, and the perception that a lot of people have in this country about a lot of things. I think we had a little pre-discussion just now, but I'm sure, Doc, you'll be able to enlighten us a lot more about a lot of this misconception that is around, and how do we deal with it? I think that's more important. And how do we get Malaysians, because I believe Malaysians generally are not racist. Most Malaysians are not racist. We live very well with each other, and regretfully, the race card has been used in a lot of these things. So anyway, it's not mine, but I leave to this conversation tonight, and I'm sure everybody's going to be enthralled by the conversation that you will be having tonight. Thank you, Boon. Leave it to you both. Thank you.
Thank you, President TAP. Okay, before we go on, yes, Dr. Bala, apa khabar? Hari ini sibuk ke? Macam mana Kuala Terengganu sekarang ni?
Okay, good. Kita kena baik juga lah. Tak baik pun kena baik juga.
Kena baik juga,
Ya.
Okay, hari ini kita tengok the case masih tinggi lagi, 19,000, yesterday was 20,000, yang meninggal pun dah sampai past 10,000, hanya 210 orang lagi meninggal. I think sebelum kita mulakan majlis kita, I think it's lagi elok kalau kita boleh sedekahkan doa kan untuk yang mereka yang dah meninggal. Seorang Islam mungkin kita boleh sedekahkan Fatihah, dan juga untuk semua telah terkorban sama ada COVID-19 ataupun sebab-sebab lain, kita doakan negara kita juga, Malaysia, dan seluruh rakyat Malaysia dapat sama-sama menang perang COVID-19 agar semua perusahaan negara, sekarang campur lagi dengan politik sikit, sosial lagi dia. InsyaAllah cuba kita menang. Kita nak menang bersama, jadi semua orang boleh keluar daripada permasalahan ini. Okey, kita mulakan dengan Al-Fatihah. Yang agama lain boleh berdoa dalam agama masing-masing. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya. Okey, saya akan bacakan sedikit mengenai Dr. Balachandran. Beliau 61 tahun, sudah berumah tangga dan dikurniakan dengan 3 orang anak. Beliau merupakan Pegawai Khas Hal Ehwal Bukan Islam Menteri Besar Terengganu dan Ketua Penerangan Dewan Himpunan Pendukung Pusat. Beliau sudah berkecimpung lebih 42 tahun dalam pengajian perbezaan dan persamaan di antara agama dan masih aktif menjalankan bengkel perpaduan dalam Kepelbagaian Agama dan melibatkan di seluruh Malaysia di dalam Forum Perpaduan Harmoni seluruh Malaysia untuk mewujudkan budaya minda kepelbagaian ataupun intercultural mind, as he said. Beliau mempunyai PhD dalam ijazah sumber manusia dari Amerika Syarikat. Selain daripada itu, beliau mengambil inisiatif untuk belajar mengenai Islam, I think di Ilham Institute. Untuk kita mengenali lebih lagi Dr. Balachandran, saya akan bermain bagi game Walker, words and quick answer. I'll ask you, mention your words, and I want you to answer quickly. What come to your mind when I answer that word? Contoh macam I cakap coffee, mungkin fikir hang tua ke 434 or whatever, cappuccino. Whatever come to your mind when I mention that word, you have to answer it quickly. You ready? Dr. Bala?
Alright.
Okay. I tell you, bagi in the spotlight I put here. Okay. Makanan kegemaran.
Yeah, I can hear your
Okay.
voice.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Makanan kegemaran, you hear me?
Makanan kegemaran, nasi goreng.
Nasi goreng. Sukan?
Sukan pingpong.
Pingpong. Hobi?
Hobi gardening.
Gardening. Oh, ada kawan sama. Kenangan manis.
Kenangan manis. Sewaktu saya mula, apa kata orang, mendirikan rumah tangga.
Okey, bagus. Sejuk bini dengar. Kenangan pahit?
Syarul.
Yes?
Suara tak begitu jelas.
Tak begitu jelas. Are you okay? I think probably the line is not so good. Tab, you can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, actually.
Probably your line, Bala.
My line.
Maybe shall I get off? Maybe
no, I think
maybe sharing that line might not be good.
No, my internet's in the full. Don't see
it's okay. Never mind, we just go on. We just quickly. Okay, pengalaman pahit, Dr. Bala?
Pengalaman pahit is when I lost my job sometime years. And I just got, a few, 3 children, and I lost my job. That was a very bad experience. Memang pengalaman pahit.
Okay. Orang India?
Orang India? Orang India? Orang India.
It's okay. You can pass. Kalau itu.
Okay.
Orang Melayu?
Orang Melayu kena pimpin perpaduan.
Agama Hindu?
To seek absolute truth. Untuk mencari kebenaran.
Okay, bagus. Agama Islam?
Way of life.
Way of life. Okay. Idola?
Idola? This is my wife.
Your wife? Wow, she must be happy. Wife. Sumber motivasi.
Sumber motivasi is Sadhguru.
Sadhguru. Okay.
One of the religious
inspiring. Okay.
Pandits.
A
lot of,
okay.
I get a lot of motivation from him.
All right. Kuala Terengganu. Kuala Terengganu.
So bad.
I see.
Something tak kena.
Okay. The line not so good. Kuala, can you hear me? Terengganu, Kuala Terengganu.
Maju berkat sejahtera.
Maju berkat sejahtera. Ini, okay. Politik.
Politik harus dipandu oleh agama.
Harus dipandu oleh agama. That's why you in pass record. PM.
Huh?
PM, Perdana Menteri.
PM. PM. That's
it's okay.
PM
you don't have to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
PM is the person who should make this country, make us all proud. Itu saja.
Okay.
Person who make us all proud.
All right. Fair enough. PAS.
PAS memimpin.
PAS memimpin, ah?
Ya.
Okay.
Right.
Tuan Guru Haji Hadi.
Tuan Guru Haji Hadi is my mentor.
Your mentor. Okay.
Dalam politics, ya.
Pemimpin yang dikagumi. Ada.
Pemimpin yang dikagumi. Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Negara contoh.
Negara contoh Jepun.
Jepun. Okay. Malaysia. What come to your mind? Malaysia.
Malaysia. A long way to go.
Long way to go. Okay, baiklah. Kita dah habis sesi. So, dalam musim PKP ni, macam mana Kuala Terengganu? Dr. Bala sibuk dengan apa sekarang musim Terengganu? Musim PKP.
Kita actually busy memastikan rakyat dapat bekalan makanan cukup.
Okay.
Kita memastikan bahawa tidak ada keluarga yang dipinggirkan dalam suasana PKP. Kita nak pastikan bahawa semua orang dapat sama-sama apa kata orang memikul baik yang baik dan baik yang buruk dalam PKP ini supaya kita menjadi suatu golongan yang dapat move forward dalam keadaan seperti ini.
Okay. Dekat sana okey Bala, macam mana dari segi orang pekerjaan banyak terkesan ke ataupun orang yang perlukan bantuan? Setengah tu tempat tengok banyak.
It seems to be okay. Kita biar alright sebab kita tidak nampak bendera putih di Terengganu, you know. We don't know. So memang kerajaan PAS menitik beratkan kebajikan rakyat as one of the top priorities.
Okay.
Kebajikan dalam bentuk kebudayaan dan kerohanian, both ways.
Okay. Okay, PAS dia dah cakap betul-betul macam orang agama lagi bagus. Bala. Menurut Bala mungkin you boleh share sikit you punya history macam mana you boleh terlibat dalam politik dalam DHPP ni.
Actually saya ni what they call reluctant politician.
Okay.
You know, dalam masa lepas our schooling days and all that, banyak isu yang ditonjolkan dalam konteks ketidakadilan, dipinggirkan. Lebih-lebih lagi masyarakat bukan Islam khususnya orang India. Pada masa itu kita dapati bahawa banyak isu-isu socio-ekonomi rakyat India ni could have been done better, but dia tidak ditujukan seperti sebab we were not following the trend of what the country was all about. Malaysia was built on apa yang dikatakan three races, the main races, Malay, Chinese, and Indian, working together for the betterment of the country. And we had our constitution laid down. Everything was put in perspective. Tetapi as the time goes on, banyak benda was not followed. We had the quota system. The quota system was not followed. We had, so it became very, very very selective.
Okay.
In that situation, we were all looking for avenue where kita boleh memastikan supaya there must be a guarantee for justice, keadilan. Keadilan menjadi asas kepada keharmonian, kesejahteraan. Justice is the basis.
Okay.
We were looking for that, and we realized that it is not there. Justice not necessarily means equality.
Okay.
Justice tak sedisinya kesamarataan, keadilan.
Okay.
Keadilan is where you are due, you are given. Okay. Dalam konteks itu, we feel that memang masa itu kita ada masalah. Kita dipinggirkan dalam konteks pendidikan.
Are you saying that masyarakat India yang dipinggir? Okay.
Ramai masyarakat India terpinggir walaupun mereka bijak dalam konteks itu, mereka dipinggirkan dalam konteks sebab on a racial basis. That is something that you have to, kita mula berdepan. You cannot run away from the fact that there was this racial discrimination. Dalam konteks itu saja, bila saya when I start coming to think of politics, and I never liked politics. Politics was something that was out of I feel that it is not clean. I realize.
What's your background? Where are you coming from? And how you started? What do you do before that?
I was born and bred in Mentakap, Pahang.
Pahang, okay.
My studies were there, and then later went off to stay in. When I got married, I went to Kelantan, where my wife was working from there, and that's where I started to see a lot of things very differently, and then came back to KL in a different kind of. Kelantan was a place where I actually was enlightened.
Why?
Daripada pemikiran yang jahil, an ignorant mind, to enlightened mind, Kelantan. And it was, I got it, it was sort of given to me by Tuan Guru Nik Aziz. That was the time.
Yourself, from ignorant to enlightened.
That was when I was sort of attracted to PAS.
Okay.
You see, in 1990 when PAS took over Kelantan, masa itu, we were all, started working and still studying, and then we were looking for, we were searching for it. We were searching for it. Kita nak tengok where we can see a people or party that can give us guarantee of justice. You see, we were very worried about justice. We were worried about racism. When there is no justice, when the country is clouded by racism, and most importantly, when there's a lot of conversion by force. This was happening everywhere in the country at our time, and that period of time, Sajja, was when PAS took over Kelantan, and we were very worried because we had the picture that it's going to be a very different state. We're all going to be, we're all going to be like what we call under the scrutinization of Islam. We all have no freedom to move around and things like that. Our thoughts were in that kind of matter because we were not involved in politics, looking at things that is happening. So when Tuan Guru Aziz was appointed the Menteri Besar in 1990, a group, 5 of us to be specific, we decided to go and see him. And ask him a lot of questions, because we feel that in this current situation, current political scenario, the religion will not be able to play an important role in building the country. And you talk more about PAS, which is basically an Islamic party. We feel that is going to bring us towards regeneration, regress. So we all decided to go and see him, 5 of us. So we made an appointment with his political secretary, and we managed to get a date somewhere in November, I cannot remember. But late evening, I don't know why he gave us about 4 o'clock when we know it is about to, that's the time when the office closes. But nevertheless, we went. We went with the thoughts, with our mind that we want to break this man up. That was our thought, we want to break him up. Because we are supposed to be the so-called young, with so much of, what we call the vibrance and the determination to do the difference. So we want to break him up.
In what capacity? Is this Indian movement? In what capacity?
No, we ran individuals. We went as individuals, yes. Individuals. We went as individuals, and then we went with an arrogance that we want to break him up. So we were in our discussion as we go on. We were talking about, okay, Maniam, you ask these questions. So we are prepared all the questions to actually provoke him. Questions like, can these ulamas lead in this country today? Questions like that. How are they going to bring about, when we see the country is so Islam, which no Islamic country is peaceful. How are we going to be a role model? Question of that nature, to provoke and to break him up. So as we went that evening, we went into his kamar, his office. It was a little dark, but there was a light on his table. And then I asked him, and I asked the Secretary, where is the MB? He said, MB is in prayers now, I think Asar time. And he doesn't like to waste electricity. He doesn't like to waste things. So when he's not around in the office, and we go off. So we say, okay, fine, maybe PAS has no money to pay electricity bill, so they are trying to save costs and things like that. But we were really, our thoughts were very, 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 very basically to ridicule him, So we were all planning all our patients set to go, and then we were waiting for him to come. In the meantime, this office or the coffee lady, she came and put a pot of tea in the the kind of roller tray with some small quick, and waiting there. So we were sitting and waiting. So we were telling her, what this guy, we call us, and then he is now in prayer. We are just talking like a typical person who just dislike anybody just because we don't like things. Just because we don't like things, we want to just create a problem. We were in that situation, So as we were sitting, the door is, Tuan Guru Aziz prayer room is just behind his chair like that time, I think. So the moment he opened the door, he came out. We all were looking at it because he was with one sarong and one kind of singlet. For a Menteri Besar, we never, for a moment, we thought it was somebody else. But we could see a charisma. We could see a kind of some kind of vibration in him. He came straight. He came with a smile. He came straight. He took the teacup and he served us all. We all forgot our question. We all got lost because we never expected a Menteri Besar who doesn't know us at all by himself coming and serving us. That was a shock for us, and we actually lost our words. That was Tuan Guru Aziz. Then the very first word he told in Malay, he said, "Tokmu dan tok saya super." That is the word he used first. He said, "We are all from the same parents. Let's ease ourselves. Let's talk about it." And that actually gave us a shock, that we were just like dumbfounded. And then he said, "Okay, I know where you have come from. I know you have come to ridicule me." He was like, as though what we in our thoughts. And then, come, let us sit and talk as gentlemen. And we spent about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, 100 minutes, 200 minutes, 300 minutes, 400 minutes, 500 minutes, 600 minutes, 700 minutes, 800 minutes, 900 minutes, 1000 minutes, 2000 minutes, 3000 minutes, 4000 minutes, 5000 minutes, 6000 minutes, 7000 minutes, 8000 minutes, 9000 minutes, 100 minutes, 200 minutes, 300 minutes, 400 minutes, 500 minutes, 600 minutes, 700 minutes, 800 minutes, 900 minutes, 1000 minutes, 2000 minutes, 3000 minutes, 4000 minutes, 5000 minutes, 6000 minutes, 7000 minutes, 8000 minutes, 100 minutes, 200 minutes, 300 minutes, 400 minutes, 500 minutes, 600 minutes, 700 minutes, 800 minutes, 900 minutes, 1000 minutes, 2000 minutes, 2 hours. And we came out from there, we were very different. Our mindset was very different. Our understanding of the religion was totally different. And we decided to investigate what Islam is all about. And then we decided to buy the English version of the Quran and do a 1-month study on the Quran. Although we did not understand much, but we went through it. And then we realized there was no racism in Islam. Islam talks about, oh people, wahai manusia, wahai orang beriman. He never talks about wahai orang Melayu, wahai orang Cina. It doesn't talk anything of that nature. That's one thing. And justice was very clearly defined, that it transcends everything else. So we were looking for guarantee from the Quran on justice. We were looking towards guarantee from the Quran on no racism. And we're looking for guarantee from the Quran there is no compulsion in religion. And everything in our search for truth, we came about on the text of racism. Surah Hujarat ayat verse 13 was very clear. It says, O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. That's all. We were created to know each other, not to fight with each other. And the most noble of all is the most righteous person. So that itself cleared off of racism in Islam. Number one. Number two, we talk about justice. Justice was very clear. Surah Al-Ma'idah ayat 8 was very clear. It says, O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm for Allah, witnesses in justice, and do not, this is what I love most, do not let the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Jangan sekali-sekali kebencian kamu terhadap sesuatu kaum itu mendorong kamu melakukan ketidakadilan. What a beautiful verse in the Quran. Quran's guarantee, it is not a party's constitutional guarantee. Remember this. It is not the constitution or past that guarantees this. It is the Quran itself. So this has actually enlightened us to see, if this is the case, then what is the problem in Islam? Why is all the country in Islam is all fighting with each other? Then we realize that a lot of them want to become God. They don't want to be followers of the religion. They want to become God. This is the problem. Because the Quran is so clear on that. And on compulsion is very clear. Ayat kafirun, it says, for you is your religion, for me is my religion. Very clearly defined. Why is it so contradicting now? Why the actions of the people today are very contradicting? Where have we gone wrong? So for me, when I came to see this, I realized I have to learn to understand Islam for me to bring about justice, bring about non-communal politics, and bring about or to protect our rights as non-Muslims or Hindus for me. So the Quran, I must use the Quran to guarantee all of this. And that's why I decided to be with PAS. And that time it was Club Penyokong PAS. It was just PAS Apros Club, just anybody can come in. Later we upgraded to Dewan and all that. But that is the force of it. End of the day, a lot of people tell me that politics and religion should not combine. I agree totally. Politics is a separate entity, religion is a separate entity. But politicians must be guided by their religion for them to have the fear of God in them. And then only will they be able to do the right thing. If you don't have that, religion, you cannot take God and religion away from the world. We were created to know and to love God. That was the purpose of our creation. And nobody can come and say that religion should not play a role. It is very wrong as far as I'm concerned.
That's a problem.
Is a guiding force. Religion is a guiding force for all of us to be good human beings.
Bala, that's why the acquisition for on the past side they said penunggang agama. you manipulate agama for your own benefit in that sense, you know. Rather than the Islam itself is very pure and
every politician, every human beings have got their weaknesses.
Yeah.
We are not telling that past is perfect. Everyone has got weaknesses. We are not, including me. But the question is, your intention is very important. Your action could be wrong. Maybe your action could have been, done out of context, or you could have done the wrong thing ignorantly. But your intention is important. We must always believe the world belongs to God and nobody else.
True.
That is how when we believe that the world belongs to God and we are servants of God, you will create heaven on earth itself. The kingdom of God on earth will be established. The problem is we all think that this country belongs to us, this state belongs to us, this land belongs to us, and end of the day fight for each other to get all these things. This is the problem. And that's why a lot of people don't want to talk about religion. Actually, it is basically, religion is a progressive revelation.
I just give you one more bullet, Dr. Bala. You got the Surah Hujurat, Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:8, and I just give you one more to complete your hujah later on when you see somebody. It's basically Surah As-Saf, chapter 61, ayat 3. You just check 61:3. Basically, God says is, kaburat maktan indallah an taqulu ma taf'alun. Basically, God says, when I try, basically, I just God hates those who, doesn't walk his talk. I just translation of the English. Tapi kalau you tengok the proper translation in English, bukan God hate. It's the most loathsome in the sight of God. God, sangat benci orang yang cakap tapi tak buat. So, dalam cakap surah Al-Maidah tu, dia kata you have to be just against your own enemy.
The question is, why is not the Quran being followed? That is the problem.
Exactly.
Same thing. I'm not only talking about the Muslims. I'm talking about even Hindus, Christians, Buddhists. They all have got their problems. The major thing is their ego. The ego in them is what is causing all the problems. If you put your ego aside, everything will become. Because we'll have to follow, we'll have to abide by the will of God, Everything that's happened in this world is by the will of God. We are instruments. If we do not abide by the will of God, then the whole country will go to destruction.
Okay, I just go to the question specific. Thank you. Of course, you said you of course it's very irony that normally I mean I also involved in a lot of interface. I got many friends. I've been doing a lot of interface. Some good friend they came back to me kalau macam pas tu and he mentioned certain leaders' name. It's basically those who cannot be named lah. Cannot be you get me. It's really the opposite. In fact, there's some statement, especially macam I as Melayu, bila you cakap pasal Melayu, UMNO corrupt is fine. That's basically Melayu. But when you mention about Islam, something that it's so universal, that's your religion, and you use it for political benefit, that is really hurts you big time. That's why I really mad, when people using religion for their own personal gain or political gain or for whatnot, Okay, that is one. So how do you balance, I know in your 15 years with past sebagai kelab penyokong, you see justice in Islam. There are some statement made by you being Malay, you automatically being Islam. Of course, past is more on the Islam side. Memang, if I'm not mistaken, there is a statement from past leader. He said the position of the top government and civil servant can only by Malay Muslim. So how make you feel being, the justice that you are championing for, you're not good enough because you are birth, you're born. It's Indian.
You see, it's very. You see, what has happened is he has spoken, but that has been happening for decades. Never in the history of Malaysia was a PM a non-Muslim.
True.
There was always, never in the history of the leaders or the what we call the prime minister, ministers, the senior ministers, the sultans, they all were almost, so at the end of the day, it is there. He just said it, that's all, and it became a situation. Maybe he should not have said it, or he wanted to tell it in a different way, you're taken out of context. But at the end of the day, it is not today. If that is what he says, then how could I have a senator in DHPP?
Okay.
PAS appointed as an Indian senator.
Mm-hmm.
It is just the things that is happening. Is trying to explain. Maybe the way the languages he used could be, taken out of context. But if it's that what he says that there's no place for, what we call, past Indians, the DHPP members are not a big thing comparing to MIC or even MCA. But yet, with that, we are given a senatorship. What does it say?
Yes. No, so, I'm not saying that. Okay.
So for us, as I said, it was taken out of context. If he has, in fact, the president himself was the one who ensured that our DHPP chief received the senatorship even before the Ketua Pemuda. The Ketua Pemuda received his senatorship after DHPP, So how do you explain that? So there is always, the weaknesses, and there's always people. You see, when you hate a person, remember this, Shahrul, when you hate a person, you will continue hating the person.
That's so true.
Hate never cease by hate. You will only cease by love.
Yeah.
If you want to see the right part of the thing, just see through the eyes of love. You can see a lot of things different. When you love someone, everything becomes very clear.
True.
When you hate somebody, everything, even the right, becomes wrong.
Okay.
So it is a question of knowing the person. I have known Tuan Guru Hadiawang very well. I've been with him for 15 years, sitting and talking with him. How many of us who have commented on his statements have actually sat and talked to him?
Yeah. So Bala, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No problem. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just that there are maybe some other statement that they made or he made or Tuan Guru or not. Yeah, it's true, but probably it takes a little bit of wisdom how you should put it in a correct, politically correct, in a correct way.
We have discussed this, of course, because we only discuss if it's wrong. For us, that statement he made was taken out of context. How can you go and say somebody, hey, you should not have said that, when we know that is not what is meant? You get my point or not?
Yeah.
So we'll tell him, maybe, we say, Tuan Guru, maybe you should have, said it this way or that way, He said, yeah, maybe people have taken out. But as I said, everything happens. I'm not telling the leaders are perfect. Everyone has got a problem. You take Mahathir Mohamad, you take Anwar Ibrahim, you take Lim Guan Eng, you take Lim Khet Siang, everyone has got a problem. And at the end of the day, talking about politics is one thing, living and seeing us. If PAS was a party that was talking about all this, I would not be sitting there for 17 years. A lot of them say, oh, now you are a special officer of the MB, you have got your perks. I only got my perks now. It's a small perks in 3 years. 14 years, we were just there.
True.
Am I crazy to sit with him? Please tell me. For me. So you want to know the truth about me, you ask me about it. You don't go and ask me. You see, if I have a problem in my family, you must ask the family members. Don't go ask the neighbor about what's the problem. The neighbor will tell you something and you follow him, you're in for a lot of trouble. You get my point? So you ask the person who actually, instead of being judgmental, straight away jumping to conclusions. So this is how
there are also many other issues that related, to PAS being
we are denying the fact. We are not saying no, but we are sitting there. We are trying to sit together and see how we can change things. Because you must understand, PAS was without non-Muslim or how many years? In 2010 as Dewan, there were 10 years only we are with them. You know, it is so much, the constitution has to be changed, a lot of things has to happen. But it is a process of changing things like, you know, we are going through it. And we know we can do it at a slow pace. You cannot just turn things, everything upside down. You've got a problem, yes. People will say so many things, yes, true. But I will not say about other people. You know, how many people talk about the president? They mock him, they ridicule him, they use all kind of words against him. He just relax. End of the day, it's our conscience, you know. Our conscience will determine what our thoughts are all about. Our words could be a little different the way it is done, but you cannot be judgmental. You want to know the view? Call and find out in person. Don't come and fight. You have to, you consult, you know, you don't confront to find the truth. To seek the truth, you have to consult, not confront.
Yeah,
a lot of them want to confront, and then how can you seek the truth?
Okay.
And everyone, Charul, everyone's view should be respected.
True.
You have got your view, I respect your view. I've got mine, you respect mine. That doesn't mean that my view is must be as what your view is all about, or your view is to be mine. No, it's not. It's never to be like that.
Yes.
You got your view, I got your view. That's about it.
Dr. Bala, what's your biggest challenge when as Ketua Penerangan Dewan Himpunan, especially from your?
It's trying to make the non-Muslim realize that PAS is a party that actually have got the direction towards unity because they have the fear in God in them. They're answerable to God, not to their constitution. That's the difference.
But sometimes many of them don't really, you know, walk the talk.
That's what I'm trying to say. You see, in the religion of God, in our religion, whatever religion, if God says don't do the wrong things, you do it, you are answerable to God. We just take it as it is. We cannot, you see, the moment we fight, then you're not going to solve any problem. We leave it to God. If you are wrong in what you are doing, then you have to be answerable to God. That's how it's going to be. And that's why we can still sit and be very peaceful in PAS.
Yeah.
We don't fight. I say, you never do that, then you have to answer God. That's about it. Because the Quran is very clear. Do not allow your hatred for another race, deny injustice.
True.
So,
sometimes
you deny a person justice, you are going against the Quran, you are answerable to God. That's about it. I am not going to shout and fight and hey, the Quran says like that, how can you do that? That is not going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Consultative approach is the best approach for us to resolve issues. Confrontation is never going to solve problems. I always believe in that.
I second you 200%. Okay, Dr. Bala. Okay. What is the most benda yang paling berat you terpaksa handle lah for
a lot
your
of kind? You see, we have issues of the temples being broken. Okay, we have issues of unilateral conversion. Okay, we have issues like Indira Gandhi and all the issues. The problem is politics is one thing. See, politics. That's why I say if you talk about politics and then everything becomes chalaru. You have to follow the religion. If you don't follow the religion, then you are going to create problems. Today, when Islam is supposedly to be so perfect, why is it imperfection in Islam? In the Islamist country, Iran and Iraq was war 9 years. What's the problem?
The people.
Yeah. So we judge Islam not by the action of a people. We judge Islam by what is in the Quran.
Yeah.
So you don't judge Islam, oh, that fellow, that's not how you judge Islam. You have to study the Quran to understand Islam. And that is why I took it upon myself to go for the course in the basic Islamic studies from Ilham, just to ensure that I know what I'm talking about. And
but
that
not
made
many
me,
people like,
and that made me to actually go further to study my own religion. Earlier, I was never so dominated with the Bhagavad Gita, studying about the Bhagavad Gita, the Tirukural. After that, I like compelled to study, because then I realized what a beautiful things that were in the religion that I was not aware of.
okay.
People say I become Muslim. It's not about, they say you become past, you become Muslim. It's not about that. Muslim is the will of God. Kalau ada hidayah from Allah Ta'ala, you become Muslim. If not, there's always a wisdom behind everything that's happening. As I've told earlier, the closest person with the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, also was never a Muslim until he died. His maternal uncle. So let us not be judged on whether you want to become a Muslim or not. That is not important. The important is whether are we following the way of life for us to see. You don't propagate by talking, you propagate by your action. That's how it has to go. There are so much of rhetorics in action, both in every other religion, every other, they all have. But at the end of the day, what are you going to be? Where are you going to be? You are still going to go one day and you're still going to face God. Are you prepared for that? The problem today in this world, everyone want to become God. Everyone want to protect their God. They want to protect their God. That is not what you should do.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I think that's a good thing. I think there are plenty of issues. Even I was asked about Zakir Naik, probably hudud, non-Muslim stuff like that. Probably the answer from Dr. Bala said, if it's possible, we don't confront, but you consult. Try to get their explanation from the other side. Then you see the least that we can do, we can agree to disagree on certain things. I mean, if you like Dr. Bala,
let's resolve issues in a friendly manner.
True.
You have got your views, I got views. There could be a problem. Maybe we could not solve it now. Maybe later we can solve it. But don't confront and create more problems on the already existing problems.
True. I mean, the moment that you attack somebody, they will erect a defense mechanism, and you can never be solved. You keep on, throwing each other with
every religion talks about love, Every religion talks about love. But love has got no religion. You must understand that.
Yeah.
that is very important for us to understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I don't quite understand that people, we are fighting over religion. It shouldn't be the case. It should be the one that's strengthening us. I mean, religion, talking about serving others before self and stuff like that, It's so beautiful.
True, Sahrul. Religion should be the cause of unity. If religion is cause of disharmony, better don't have religion.
But by just that, like my NGO said, unity through knowledge. You have to have a proper knowledge, only they can have unity. When you follow blindly people, you are taksub, then you can have all sort of problem like we're having now. Okay, we are going to our last 10 minutes of our discussion. This was very, we can't go in detail into that. That's another matter. But the approach is, like Dr. Bala said, if you got any problems with Dr. Bala, you don't shout, you just go and see him. You can talk things out, Like people, of course, some people, they will make mistake. People make mistake, and we try to have an exchange, try to understand where you're coming from. That's okay. Dr. Bala, of course, ada orang tanya tadi, dia kata, kalau I want to ask this question, since you know so much about Islam, you basically championing about Islam. You're quite sure that Islam is about justice and whatnot. It's only this Islam that there is no racism and whatnot. I just want to ask this question that so many people have asked you. So don't you not consider Islam as a way of life?
You see, religion is a progressive revelation, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, doesn't mean that, as I said, to be an Islam or not is the will of God.
Yeah.
Everything happens has got a reason, has got a wisdom behind it.
Yeah, true.
Seek that wisdom. Seek the wisdom why Dr. Bala has not become a Muslim yet, rather than asking, when are you becoming a Muslim?
Yeah. So, I like when I asked about Hindu, you said Hinduism basically seeking the truth. So I mean, just keep on seeking, finding the
Hinduism is known as Sanadana Dharma, seeking absolute truth.
Yeah.
When you are truth, then you don't actually have a religion. You are safe. The same thing. So for every individual, I am championing Islam in Malaysia because Islam must lead the pathway to unity in Malaysia. All other religions has got their formula for unity. Hinduism has got the formula for unity. Christianity has got formula for unity. Buddhism has got, but in Malaysia, the majority Muslims must lead the pathway to unity. And that's what I'm talking about. Because if the Muslims themselves are not united, how are they going to make peace for this country and create the pathway to unity? This is my concern. Okay. When the Muslims themselves talk about racism and all that, how are we going to talk about peace?
Like you said, but provided the politician must be guided by their religion.
The problem is a lot of politicians say, oh, religion, suku, politics, suku, which is wrong.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of corruption happens. Nobody fear God. If you fear God, you will not do.
True.
You see, simple as that. Because everything is here. Why don't you steal? Or why? If you don't have a religion, you'll just do everything. But because you fear God, you don't do the things. You don't hurt people. You don't do things. And of course, in the mistake you do, you seek forgiveness.
All right.
A lot of people do mistake and they don't. Oh no, I'm not wrong. I'm right. That is the biggest problem also.
Yeah. Bala. Okay. So you had a plan at the DYB, You got any? What's your basically ambition? I mean, the PRE 15 might be.
My ambition is spread love and care everywhere.
Okay.
I want to do a lot of things, little things with a lot of love. That's my ambition.
All right, Dr. Bala. We are with you. Okay.
Yeah.
So kalau I tanya you as individual, as a person, are you happy now, or is there anything that can make you happier? I mean, just really from your heart. Are you happy now?
When you talk about being happy in a material world, then you will never find happiness.
Okay, true. Yeah.
Material progress must be anchored in a firm foundation, firm spiritual foundation. That is very important.
Okay.
Then only the social and economic welfare of mankind can be advanced. If not, you just material progress only is not going to go anywhere. It must be anchored in a firm spiritual foundation. Then you see this growth of human one. And then you will have to engage in a profound organic change in the very structure of society, forging a path towards just, inclusive, and unified society. This is very important.
Okay, just unified and inclusive society. Okay, that's basically, is that your ta'rif of a better Malaysia in your how you understand?
Of course.
Okay. So what do you think of your meaning and purpose of life, Dr. Bala?
Beg your pardon, I didn't get you again.
Your meaning. How do you see your life, your purpose of life in this world?
You see, I understand I was created to love and worship God. That's my first purpose of life.
Okay.
In the process, I have to build up the material world. That is to serve mankind. Work, which will become worship if it's done in the right way, and serve mankind, which will become prayer.
Yeah.
So that is basically. So when you work, what we call very sincerely, and you serve the people, it's exactly like serving God.
That sounds more like Islamic purpose of life, right? Because you believe in God, you do good things.
It is the basis of every religion. Every religion will talk about work is worship, service is prayer. Every religion talks about that.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a unity in that sense that we believe. I think Hindu also believe in the oneness of God.
Religion is a uniting force. Yeah. Religion must be a uniting force. It can never be what we call a disuniting force.
All right.
If your religion is a disuniting force, something is wrong somewhere. Okay. Religion can never be.
I agree. Okay, Bala, if you are to be, say, hypothetically, if you be the MP, so who are you going to cast for your vote for the PM9 in September, on the 6th of September? Oh, yes, your choice. Okay, ni kita tutup apa tak nampak. Your personal, I mean, your preference, minus all the political side, I think that the right person to lead the country. Of course, one that you like, or probably one that's more likely to be the PM9.
At this point of time, actually, I don't see anyone yet. you really ask me. But I believe that I want to see a PM who is away from gut politics, away from communal politics, a PM who puts God first and then his country.
Okay. Is there any name in the current 222 MPs?
I don't see anyone at this point of time. I don't.
Okay. There's not yet. Okay. Yeah. No mind. Probably.
There are certain things, certain qualities you have, but at this point of time, the way I'm looking at it, putting the religion and the country first, beyond communal politics and things like that, it's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go.
Yes.
None yet from the.
It will definitely happen one day, but not at this moment probably.
So you're saying that
this is a start, but this is the start of things to come. The downfall of UMNO, and then with PH and coming down, and all these the what we call the equilibrium of Malaysia is shaken up. You know, the whole equilibrium, the political equilibrium is shaken up so much that is going to bring about something, a new change, a new order, a new race of men in that sense. Okay. That is okay. I see that we are. Yep.
So okay, currently there is no candidate good enough to be your PM9 from how you say it. To put to your phrasing.
The line.
Okay, the line not so good. Okay, never mind. We go on. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, I just give one last shot. Why people should vote for PAS lah? I mean, especially non-Muslim should go with you.
Change. Very simple, a change. We have tried Barisan Nasional, we have tried UMNO, we have tried MIC. Give a change.
Give a change to PAS, huh?
Until and unless they are there, you don't know what is happening. And if they are not right, then change them back. That's all.
The joke around
you have to give them a chance. You look at Kelantan, you look at Terengganu, they have no problem.
I know they've been looking for so many years. They still having a problem. You give some money, they buy Mercedes Benz, you know.
So this is another the problem. Money has become God today. Money has become God today. That's the problem. So nobody cares. Everyone wants money now. I mean, I am not telling that we should not have money. That is wrong. We need money, yes. Yeah. But never be over obsessive with money that you create a lot of wrongs in your life. And you don't become God-fearing. This is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you should not have money to help the people. You need money to serve the people. Yes.
True. Everyone needs money.
There's always a limited thing. You don't if you can live a life about, say, 100 ringgit one day, serve little people and to boy, you keep 2 million, 10 million, and other fellas all no food to eat.
True. Bala, okay, now for the last one, I give you 3 wishes. Now we can have 3 wishes, then inshallah all the audience will, can you? What will be your 3 wishes? If I can give you 3 wishes, what you want?
What vision you mean?
Wishes. I give you 3 wishes. What you want? The 3 most.
I want to make sure this country live. Everyone is treated as a family member. Everyone understands each other's pain.
Okay.
Everyone wants to do the best for the country. Immaterial of whether you are a Malay, because racism is a fallacious doctrine. You should never be even in any person's mouth.
Okay.
We are all Malay, Indian, Chinese, created by God, you know. Yeah. I don't choose to be an Indian.
Yeah.
No, we choose to be a Malay.
True.
Who are we to question the creation of God?
True.
When you question the creation of God, that's where the problem starts.
Yeah. So,
you are an Indian, go back. You are a Chinese, go back. Who are we to say, oh, you are a Malay, why are you here? We were created by God. We are all created as flowers of one garden. Small flowers, big flowers, yellow flowers, white flowers, pink flowers, green. Imagine a flowers full of beautiful flowers, a garden full of beautiful flowers. We are created to be there. But why are we trying to throw away all the red flowers and only want to have yellow flowers in the garden?
All right. Thank you, Bala. Basically, your wishes is basically the same of us, that you can be, one bangsa, not only satu Malaysia, satu dunia. We are all basically the children of from the same tok, Tokmu and Tokmu, kita sama.
We have to ensure that this world belongs to God and we are all instruments.
Yes, we're supposed to know each other.
Yeah, then we are all one family.
Yes.
Flowers of one garden, waves of one sea, leaves of one tree, we all are of that nature.
True. It's either you are wrong here. Yes.
One branch, the other one feel hurt.
True.
Things like that.
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
So the politicians must be guided by religion to embrace love and care for the people. Hatred can never be seized by hate. The politicians must learn this. If you cannot, then you don't talk. Keep quiet. Don't give all your rhetorics. You want to create a beautiful world. You want to create a peaceful Malaysia, and you indulge yourself in racism.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. That's why when our prophet said, if you got anything better to do, just keep quiet. It's the best thing to do. Rather than you throwing venom to people. All right, thank you. That is basically Dr. Balachandran Gopal Krishnan, Pegawai Khas Hal Ehwal Bukan Islam, Menteri Besar Terengganu, dan juga Ketua Penerangan Dewan Himpunan Pendukung Pusat, especially for Bukan Islam non-Muslim. You can basically contact him. You got Dr. Balachandran Official, his FB page. You can contact him through there. You can or you can call me or text number to have probably more discussion, not confront but consult. You have, this is I think the spirit of Malaysia that we are basically. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. But before we go, I'd like to pass this this majlis back to my president, President Tab. The floor is yours. Over to you.
Thank you, Bala. It was really interesting conversation. I think what's important, and I think all the verses that you quoted from the Quran very relevant here. I think what I would like to point out or like to pick was the fact that in Islam it's not about race, religion, whatever. It's about what kind of person you are, a righteous person or not a righteous person and stuff like that. And I tend to think that in Malaysia we've gone too far in this race thing, and race, as in race and religion portion, and how it's blurred this whole thing, and mainly because I when I was 17, whole group of us said that, can we get rid of this connotations? I'm Malay, Indian, whatever. Can we just call ourselves Malaysians? And that was in the 70s. And then we went to study. And then when we came back, it was getting there. But over the years, it's gotten worse. Really, as we mentioned just now, it's really about it's about politicians. And good enough, you're not a politician. In that sense. But I think that if we can we can start slowly getting that out, that let's be Malaysian. In fact, a lot of conversations that lately online, there's been a lot of Malaysians saying, I'm Malaysian. Forget about whether I'm Malay or Indian or whatever. Let's talk about me being Malaysian. And then remember there was I'm Malaysian first, and then I'm what? Oh, I'm whatever first. No, I'm Malaysian. That's it. There's no more whatever. I'm Malaysian. I tend to think that the other one that that was very relevant is that when we about service and about you mentioned that, but a lot of people have the debate about getting the materialistic wealth has become more than anything else. And that perhaps is the corrupt. That is what's corrupt about that. The thought that I need to have this money to be able to feed you. That's how it started off. I need to have the money so I'll be able to. I need to have the money so that I can take care of you. And then after that, I need to get this money so that I can keep myself in power. As long as I can give the lollipops, then I'm in power because I got the lollipops. The question is why are you the only one being able to give the lollipops? So this is the kind of thing that maybe over time, Doc this is the first time we're meeting online and stuff like that. I hope that we can be able to, move Malaysia more towards.
Right. Definitely.
I think all religion tells us to be good anyway.
Correct.
All religion tells us to love everyone. No religion tells us to go kill each other, whatever. There's none,
True.
But, and I think you said that just now, taken out of context, a lot of it. So people take advantage of this, So anyway, thank you so much. It was really enlightening. I know that there's many people like you. There's many people like me. There's many people like Boon. And there's not many people around us at the moment who are like this in Malaysia. But they're not able to come out. There's no forum. There's nothing to unite us in that way. We are united in the way how we feel, but we're not united because we're divided by the fact that you're Hindu, you're Malay, you're Indian, but we shouldn't. If we say we're all Malaysians, then we'll be united. So let's do this. I'm Malaysian. That's it. Thank you, Bala.
All right.
Privilege knowing you, sir.
Okay.
And we were.
All right. Thank you, President. I just want to add one.
Mujo lah kita jumpa kan.
Gitu.
I just want to add another verse, Dr. Bala, just to add, you have the Hujarat 49:13 whatnot. I always close my interface talk with, I think it's from Ma'idah 5:48, if God want to make us one nation, they can, But let the difference between you and me, whatever that we believe, let God decide. Not we decide that I'm wrong, that you are right or not. Let God decide who's right, not wrong. But while we are still alive, in this world, in this God world, we should they call it fastabikul bil khairat. We must strive, we must race against each other to do good things, to help people. That is basically, let our differences God decide. Not anyone is I'm right and you're wrong, stuff like that. But while still alive, we help people. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, begitulah tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, up close and personal dengan Dr. Balachandran Gopal Krishnan, Pegawai Khas Hal Ehwal Bukan Islam, Menteri Besar Terengganu, dan juga Ketua Penerangan Dewan Himpunan Pendukung Pusat. Sehingga berjumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan may peace be upon you. Amin. Alright, thank you.